Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're talking about something that could fundamentally change how artificial intelligence develops, not just in New York, but potentially across the entire country. We're going to break down New York's new Responsible AI Safety and Education, or RAISE Act, a bill that just passed the state legislature and is now sitting on the governor's desk. It's a fascinating look at the cutting edge of tech policy, and it's generated a lot of buzz, and quite a bit of controversy. So let's get into it. The RAISE Act is New York's bold and proactive attempt to establish a framework for AI safety and transparency, particularly for the most powerful and cutting-edge models. At its core, the bill aims to prevent some of the most catastrophic and widespread risks posed by the most advanced artificial intelligence. We're talking about scenarios like AI models contributing to the death or injury of over 100 people, or causing more than $1 billion in damages. The legislation defines such events as critical harm. It even requires developers to consider the chilling possibility of AI being used to create chemical, biological, or even nuclear weapons. This is New York trying to get ahead of what some experts warn are very real and rapidly approaching dangers, setting an early precedent for how states might manage the immense power of this evolving technology. This legislation is specifically targeted at what are called frontier AI models. These are the largest, most cutting-edge technologies in the field, developed using substantial computing resources, specifically over $100 million. The bill applies to models developed, deployed, or set to operate within New York. If signed into law, the RAISE Act would compel the companies behind these powerful AI models to do several critical things. First, they'd have to publish comprehensive safety and security reports and detailed risk evaluations before their models are even deployed to the public. Think of it as a rigorous, mandatory pre-launch safety check. Second, they'd be required to report serious incidents, like if an AI model starts behaving dangerously on its own without user prompting, or if a malicious actor manages to steal a powerful model. These safety protocols would also be subject to third-party review and made available to the state's Department of Homeland Security and Emergency Services, as well as the Attorney General's office. And for companies that fail to meet these stringent standards, the bill empowers the New York State Attorney General to impose significant civil penalties, up to $10 million for a first violation and a staggering $30 million for each subsequent breach. It's a clear signal that the state is serious about accountability. Supporters of the RAISE Act, including the bill's sponsors, Assemblymember Alex Bors and State Senator Andrew Gernardez, argue that these are simply common-sense safeguards, essential for public safety in an era of rapid technological advancement. Senator Gernardez put it quite starkly in an interview, asking, "Would you let your child ride in a car with no seatbelt or airbags? Of course not. So why would you let them use an incredibly powerful AI without basic safeguards in place?" He and other advocates believe that while AI offers immense benefits, its rapid evolution, which they note is faster than any other technology in human history, demands immediate attention and regulation. They point to stark warnings from expert advisors in the International AI Safety Report about potential large-scale labor market impacts, AI-enabled hacking, biological attacks, and even the risk of society losing control over general-purpose AI. They highlight real-world examples of misuse, such as American AI models being used in citizen surveillance in China, scams originating in Cambodia, and as part of global cybercrime networks. They also cite findings from AI developers themselves, where a leading AI lab found their latest model can help experts with the operational planning of reproducing a known biological threat, and is on the cusp of being able to help novices. The idea, they say, is to foster innovation while ensuring that companies don't cut corners on safety to prioritize profits. While many major AI companies have voluntarily committed to creating safety plans, the RAISE Act makes these protections a legal requirement, removing the incentive for any company to prioritize profits over safety. However, not everyone is convinced this is the right approach. Tech companies and their influential trade organizations, like the Computer and Communications Industry Association, or CCIA, are strongly urging Governor Kathy Hochul to veto the bill. The CCIA, which has over 50 years of advocating for open markets and represents firms employing over 1.6 million workers, argues that the RAISE Act would stifle innovation and ultimately undermine New York's position as a leader in the tech sector. Their primary contention is that the bill holds AI developers liable for how third parties use their tools, even when developers have no control over those uses. They specifically note that the proposed law would eliminate existing legal protections that developers currently use to manage this risk. This is especially
especially problematic for publicly shared AI models, which are crucial for researchers and startups to freely build on each other's work. Opponents fear that such sweeping liability rules, where original developers cannot oversee every use by every user, would force many AI projects to shut down or relocate out of state, leaving only tightly controlled, limited-use AI models and severely limiting the open collaboration that has been a hallmark of internet development for decades. Groups like Tech NYC, which counts Google and Meta among its members, also oppose the bill. While they aren't against state-level regulation in principle, they express a strong preference for a national standard, or, failing that, more specific rules tailored to particular uses of AI, such as in healthcare decision-making, rather than the RAISE Act's broad, blanket approach. Julie Samuels, president and CEO of Tech NYC, explicitly stated her concern that the bill's passage would push New York away from incentivizing smart and responsible AI development. Some critics, like Andreessen Horowitz general partner Anjani Mitta, have called it yet another stupid state-level AI bill that will only hurt the U.S. Even Anthropic, a safety-focused AI lab, while not taking an official stance, has expressed grievances about the bill's breadth, noting it could present risks to smaller companies. However, Senator Gonardez counters this, stating he specifically designed the bill not to apply to small companies. Assemblymember Bors, despite acknowledging the industry resistance as unsurprising, maintains that the RAISE Act's regulatory burden is relatively light and should not limit innovation or cause tech companies to stop operating their products in New York. He points out that given New York has the third largest GDP in the U.S., pulling out of the state is not a decision most companies would take lightly. He remains confident there's no economic reason for AI companies to not make their models available in New York. Complicating matters further is the ongoing debate at the federal level. Congress is actually considering legislation that could temporarily prohibit states from regulating AI altogether. The House of Representatives has already passed a 10-year moratorium on such state regulation as part of a wide-ranging tax bill. While the Senate hasn't voted on its version yet, a committee inserted language that softened the provision, effectively allowing states to regulate AI if they are willing to give up federal broadband funding. Governor Hochul herself has expressed strong opposition to this federal preemption. She wrote a letter to Senate Majority Leader John Thune and Minority Leader Schumer, arguing that such a federal prohibition undermines the state's fundamental right and responsibility to protect the safety, health, privacy, and economic vitality of its citizens. It sets up a fascinating tension between states wanting to act as laboratories of democracy and a potential desire for uniform national standards. Notably, Governor Hochul has also been a strong supporter of the Empire AI Initiative, a public-private consortium at the University at Buffalo dedicated to AI research and development, and has signed measures regulating AI companions. Her decision on the RAISE Act will require a careful balancing act. So, as Governor Hochul reviews the RAISE Act, she's weighing competing priorities: the urgent calls for robust safety and accountability from a rapidly advancing technology versus the concerns from the tech industry about stifling innovation and New York's competitive edge. It's a complex decision with significant implications for the future of AI development and regulation, not just in New York, but potentially as a model for other states. That's a comprehensive look at the New York RAISE Act and the high-stakes debate surrounding it. What do you think about the bill? Do you believe states should regulate AI, or should it be a federal matter? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this explanation helpful, please give the video a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more content on finance, technology, and policy. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.